Shema Yisrael Asher Eloheinu Yahweh Echad. Vahafta et Anat Elohecha ובכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך וחיוך הדברים האלה אשר נרחיב מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ולכתך בדרך ובשכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך וחיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך וחיה כי הביאך אלוהיך אל הארץ אשר נשבע לאבותיך לאברהם ליצחק וליעקב לתת לך ערים גדולות וטובות אשר לא בנית ובתים מלאים כל טובה אשר לא מילאת ובורות עצובים אשר לא עשת וכהרים וזיתים אשר לא נטעת והלכת ושבת ישמר לך פן תשכח את יראי אשר תישך מארץ מצרים מבית עבדים. Good morning, Paige. It's really nice to see you. How are you doing today? Oh, I've lost it. It's over there. Today we're going to continue reading the story of Atrahasis. I am average, Paige. I am doing as good as I have typically done over the last several months, which is not as good as I would like, but acceptably pleasant. So, we're going to continue reading from our story, Atrahasis. So Atrahasis is a Noah myth. A flood myth. It's not a Noah myth. There's no Noah in it. It's a story about a flood. Right? And, where we left off, we weren't in flood, we were in drought. Yes, better than not good at all. I've been significantly worse in my life. It's hard to remember a time when I've been better, because that's the way that my mind works. But I can remember times that I've been significantly worse. So, where we left off, the gods were punishing the humans with drought. Before that, they were punishing them with sickness. And before that, there was a war between the two tiers of gods because they needed someone to punish. And the lower tiers were like, stop punishing us. We don't want to be slaves anymore. So, we're at the drought stage. And soon we'll get to the flood stage. Thank you, Paige. What a strange thing. Trolls, they want your attention. That's what they want. So, we will read this story about how does Atrahasis escape from the drought and into the flood. It goes like this. But in less than 3 periods of time, then it came to pass, the inhabited lands sprawled, and the people grew plentiful. And the inhabited lands raised a howl like a bellowing bull, so the gods were bothered by all of the noise that they made. Eliel raised his voice to be heard, speaking to the high gods. The noise which is made by man has become too great. All this clamor and clatter has kept me from my sleep. Let it be that Anu and Adad shut the sky above their lands. Let it be that Sin and Nergal's seal shut the middle region. And regarding the barrier which defines the limits of the ocean, it will be for Ea and his Lahamu men to assure that it is kept closed. So Anu and Adad went and shut the sky above their lands. Sin and Nergal assured that a seal secured the middle region, and regarding the barrier which defines the limits of ocean, Ea and his Lamu men assured that this too was kept closed. And that man of great wisdom, Atrahasis, cried every day. He would walk the riverside grass with an incense offering, even though there was not a murmur from the canal waters. Still, at midnight, he dutifully made the sacrificial offering, and even as the lassitude of sleep was getting hold of him, still he spoke to the irrigation waters in the canal channels. May irrigation waters carry it away, the river convey it. Let this gift of offering find its way to the feet of my lord Ea. So when Ea looks upon it, he will not forsake me, so that when I sleep I might experience a portentous dream. Atrahasis, his strategy, as taught to him by Enki, when something goes wrong, is to pray. Which I have my doubts about, frankly. I'm not so sure that praying to the gods is going to help. Clearly these gods, the only thing they've done in any of these stories is destruction. I mean, they do a bit of creation too, but the creation is always like this, one-off thing, and then they spend most of their attention thinking about how to make things worse. Anyway, after this, he conveyed his package upon the waters. He sat down with his face to the river and began to weep, and the man cried as he remained by the side of the river. There he wept while looking over the surface of the waters, and his entreaty was making its way down to the deep Apsu, into deep Apsu. And I think we will pause there and continue on later. Although this is going to be my last stream for a little while, because I have to go to a funeral. I'm leaving tomorrow, and I won't be able to stream. I won't be able to stream till I get back on, Monday? It's going to be a long time. I will miss you all. So we will pick up this story where we left it off then, with Atrahasis supplicating to the gods that they unblock the boundaries that they set upon the earth. My partner's grandfather died, so we are driving to Maryland to go to his funeral. I never met him, so I can't say it's a loss on my part, and it was certainly his time to go, from what I've heard. But family is family, so you have to pay respects. What a phrase, pay respects. I don't want to pay anything. I have respect. Give it. Give my respects. Pay respects. Probably, yeah. We take back roads until we get to 81 near Scranton, and then take take 81 all the way south. Thank you, baby love. It makes me really happy when you're here too. How is your day going? How's your family doing? Thank you for the rose. So, thank you, Eastline. You live north in nowhere. The little one has a cold, so you're taking it easy today. Well, I'm glad you're able to. I'm glad you have that luxury. It's important. So, sorry, I got some text messages from my father just now that I shouldn't check my phone while I'm streaming. It's it's irresponsible. It's bad performance. I'm going to be meeting with a therapist with him later in the week. And I'm not optimistic that it's going to go well. He just sent me things, and now my brain is like, how do I possibly respond to the ridiculousness of it all? So it goes. Let's say some prayers instead. Let's say Arati. Arati means flame in Sanskrit, or light. Excuse me. It's an ongoing saga. It will not be easy. In fact, it's more likely than anything else, it will conclude with us never talking again. Even though that's not what I want. But I don't know. I've made a couple videos about it, right? Like, how do I talk publicly about family trauma? It's really hard, and I can't, like, thinking about it makes my brain, like, short circuit. So it's really hard, like the little stories that I've published, like, they're true, right? Like, I worked on them, and, like, okay, how do I want to say this? What things can I say such that, like, I would be comfortable with anyone perceiving the messages that I'm putting out. But, like, there's still a tremendous amount that I haven't said, right? Because I wouldn't be comfortable with it being public knowledge. Not that I have something to hide, but just, like, people have to be very careful about what you say and how people interpret it. You don't speak with your father at all. I didn't know that. Yeah, estrangement is really tricky. Yeah, I'm trying to not to still figure out how he can be in my life, but I don't think I've had a conversation with him in a decade that wasn't hurtful. So I don't know. It's just hard. But give it a try and see how it goes. Arati means light. Jaya Jaya Arati Vina Vinayaka Vina Vinayaka Shri Ganesha Jaya Jaya Arati Subramanya Subramanya Kartikeya Jaya Jaya Arati Venugopala Venugopala Venuola Papa Vidura Navanita Chora Jaya Jaya Arati Venkanta Ramana Sankata Harana Sita Rama Radhe Shama Jaya Jaya Arati Gauri Manohara Bhavani Sankara Samba Sadashiva Uma Maheshwara Jaya Jaya Arati Raja Rajeshwari Tripura Sundari Mahalakshmi Mahasaraswati Mahakaliya Mahashakti Jaya Jaya Arati Anjaneya Hanumanta Jaya Jaya Arati Dattatreya Trimutri Avatara Jaya Jaya Arati Adityaya Bhaskaraya Jaya Jaya Arati Sanistaraya Bhaskaraya Jaya Jaya Arati Sankaracharya Sankaracharya Advaita Gurave Jaya Jaya Arati Sadgurunatha Sadgurunatha Shivananda and Jaya Jaya Arati Vishnu Devananda Vishnu Devananda Vishnu Devananda Jaya Jaya Arati Agastya Munaye Agastya Munaye Shriyama Priyaye Jaya Jaya Arati Ayappa Swamine Ayappa Swamine Dharma Shastave Jaya Jaya Arati Jesus Gurave Moses Gurave Buddha Gurave Jaya Jaya Arati Muhammad Gurave Guru Nanak Gurave Samastya Gurupo Namaha Jaya Jaya Arati Avenugopala. Natatra Suyobati Natandrakar Tam Nimavidyobati Kutayamagni Twameva Bantamanvanti Sarvam Tasya Basya Samitan Vivanti Om Gange Kairmane Kaiva Govari Saraswati Narmade Siddhi Kaveri Namasti Tam Namo Namaha. Twameva Mata Chapita Twameva Twameva Bandusha Saka Twameva Twameva Vidya Dravinam Twameva Twameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Kayena Vacha Manasandhyarva Buddhyatmanava Prakriti Sabhavad Karomyadyad Mangalam Parasmahe Narayana iti sarmar payami Savadamam pravichaya mimikam savanam vrija Aham svasarva papayo mokshayami masucha. Whatever actions I perform with my body, speech, mind, senses, my nature, my intellect, or my emotions, all these I dedicate to you, to all of you. Thank you so much for being here. So, now, to conclude, we will say Kaddish. And I'm leaving tomorrow morning for a short trip. I'm going to my partner's grandfather's funeral, so I won't be streaming for the next few days. But we'll be mourning him. So this Kaddish, he died 2 days ago, so all the Kaddish that I've been saying for the last several days kept him in mind. Kaddish is a prayer of grief, a prayer of mourning, a prayer where for a moment or two we try to let go of the people in our life who are no longer there, whether they are alive or not, and accept the reality that we find ourselves living in this moment. You're welcome, Sheila. It's very touching that you would say that. I'm not sure what I've taught you. I never know what I've taught anyone, but I do try to teach. So, we will say Kaddish to try to let go, and to forgive, and release those who are no longer here to be with us. The last 2,500 years, give or take, my ancestors have said these words in response to death. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shmei rabbah v'yama divrach yute v'yamlich malchute v'chayachon v'yomechon v'chay kol beit Yisrael bagala v'zman kari v'yimru. Amen. Yehi shmei rabbah miv'arach li'olam almei almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yirmam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudesha b'rechu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata diamiran v'yama v'yimru. Amen. Yehi Shemei Rabbah Mivarach Li'olam Almei Almaya Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitba'ar V'yirmam V'yitnaseh V'yitadar V'yitaleh V'yitalal Shemei Dekudesha B'rechu Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'shirata Tushbechata V'nechemata Diamiran V'yama V'yimru. Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabbah Min Shemaya V'chayim Aleinu V'yochol Yisrael V'yimru. Amen. Oseh Shalom Mibramav Huya Aseh Shalom Aleinu V'yochol Yisrael V'yimru. Amen. Oseh Shalom B'ramav Aseh Shalom Aleinu V'yalech al Yisrael V'im ruah, v'im ruah. Amen. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you here next week after I return. And I hope you stay well in the meantime. Have a really lovely day.